The Sims teased Burglars, which pretty much confirms the update coming on Tuesday, just as I expected. Hello, my name is Jennifer, and welcome to my Sims 4 news video. So I'm going to cover these topics in the video. I'm going to cover those teased burglars, and a brief look at the history of burglars in The Sims, the expected fixes from the laundry list, and some things that were not on the laundry list, so not expected, the expected timing of the update, and the expected mod impact, how to prepare for an update since this is going to be a big update. It's good to prepare for it, and also the fact that the developer live stream for the Businesses and Hobbies expansion pack is going to be on Friday, and they're also going to be covering the game update, which also, supports, but it's a big game update. So The Sims shared on their Discord and various other social media this teaser earlier on Monday with the iconic music there. And I'm guessing that's 1, 2, 3, and the coming 4 burglars. And there's those eyes. And those eyes match, of course, the eyes from the roadmap, which showed the 25th with the eyes on it. This is the birthday roadmap, but also it's on the Sims 4 roadmap for the Season 2, the same eyes on the 25th. So here's that screenshot again of the burglars, which Sims community did an interesting picture where they put, a Sims 1 burglar for 2000, Sims 2 burglar for 2004, 2009 was the Sims 3 burglar, though interestingly, when I looked at the Sims 3 burglar online, it also has the black and white top. So the black top strikes me as familiar, but I couldn't find anywhere, unless it was because you could be a cat burglar or something like that in Sims 3, and maybe that's what that is. And then they have for 2025 being the final one there with a question mark, because we don't know it. And they have a full article on the history of burglars, which I glanced at, but really what I did is I went to the Sims Wiki, which I'll link to both their article and the Sims Wiki down below. But I found the Sims Wiki had a lot of detail. So here's just the basic overview, which I'll go over. It's a NPC, which was in the Sims 2, and Sims 3. Soon to be in Sims 4, who will sneak onto a lot, most often during the night, when Sims are sleeping, and attempt to steal items from the household. So I think if you, my Sims rarely sleep, so I don't know if burglars will come, because I know I don't get vampires because my Sims don't sleep. But in the Sims, the original Sims, the burglar known as some sneaky Sim was a male, but in Sims 2 and Sims 3, the burglar can either be male or female. And they will steal possessions of any size, often choosing the most valuable items of the lot, and burglars can be arrested by the police if they're summoned quickly enough. But the only way to ensure police arrive in time to catch the burglar is to install a burglar alarm. Though from what I was reading later, it may not guarantee that they'll actually be successful in stopping them from stealing something. But if the lot doesn't have the alarm, Sims can call the police. They just may not arrive in time to prevent the burglar from escaping with the Sims' possessions. And in all 3 games, it was impossible to enter build or buy mode without cheats. And also you couldn't go to Edit Town, or we call it Manage Worlds in Sims 4, once a burglar entered the lot. So, of course, that last line is probably going to have to be changed after the update, because I'm pretty sure that burglars are coming in tomorrow's, or probably at the time this goes up, today's update. So here's just a little brief thing with respect to Sims 1, and it's short. It's this one little blurb, but when we go on to Sims 2 and then later Sims 3, there's a lot more information. So they got a lot more detailed with the burglars in Sims 2 and then again in Sims 3. So I'm curious whether the burglars in Sims 4 will be detailed like how they did with Sims 2 and Sims 3. Here's more on Sims 2, and they even had pre-made burglars in Sims 2, but that you can see the wiki if you want to see that. I didn't get a screenshot of it. So if a house has a back door, a burglar may enter through it. I didn't actually remember that. And a car with an alarm installed can serve as an outdoor alarm, which of course we don't have cars in Sims 4, though of course there was a recent private survey which had some EPs that were had cars in them, so it does seem like cars are going to be coming to Sims 4. So hopefully when they come, they'll be added with this alarm. I highly doubt they're coming in the update before this pack, but It seems very unlikely to me, but you never know. And then they had like werewolves can fight the burglar like a cop and they would always win. Will that happen in Sims 4? And the butler will immediately call the police when a burglar is seen in Sims 2. Will we do something with butlers in Sims 4 if you have the vintage glamour? And in Sims 2, the range was only one room, and it couldn't be placed outdoors, but there was like a workaround that you could do there. So that's the details for Sims 2. And now for Sims 3, we get even more. I had to get smaller. I still only did in 2 screenshots. But so in Sims 3, the burglars could be interacted with while on the job, which you couldn't do in previous games. So the options were limited, and they now had the option as a sim to stop them if they had the brave trait or have the can apprehend burglar hidden trait. And I don't know how you get that in Sims 3. Lets them fight against the burglar and so on. So it's really detailed in Sims 3. And like Sims 2, the police were called and the officer and burglar will fight and so on. And you would get insurance money. You could befriend burglars and turn them into playable Sims by becoming acquainted with them in both 2 and 3. And they have some details on that. And if they do become a playable Sim, they would have a hidden trait called burglar from Sims 3. And that gives them special interaction to sneak when moving, and children who are descended from burglars can inherit that trait. So I could see that being something that maybe people want to try and have a baby with the burglar, if the same thing is true. And then there's ways to counter a burglar in Sims 3, just like there were in other ones, including, again, the police. So speaking of the police, I'm curious, I'm really curious how detailed these are going to be. Are we going to have a police NPC that would obviously be outside of Get to Work, which they're really detectives and not police? I'm hoping we'll have a burglar alarm. Are we going to have the ability to like disable burglars in the game settings, or will there be something on the door that you can disallow burglars like you can currently disallow vampires, or what? I'm really curious how they are going to work, but I guess we'll find out soon enough. Hopefully they're not too over the top. Sometimes when things are released, they can be pretty over the top and then they tone them down later. But again, we'll find out that soon enough. I'm curious what you think about the burglars coming. So moving on, another thing that I'm thinking is going to be coming in the game update is a change to how build buy works. And maybe that's part of why we have the missing clutter items that happen, because there's something going on behind the scenes preparing for this. Because in the deep dive gameplay trailer, there was this screenshot, which you can see what point it's at, where you can see the icons for the items there. And the 2 that are circled don't currently look like that if you go into the game before the update. They look like what's on the top right-hand side circled there. So they have a different look currently than what they showed there. So either this is like just, it's not actually going to be changing to this, but it seems like it is. So it does seem like there's some type of change to the buy mode, even if it's just how it looks. But if they're changing how something looks, it makes me think they're doing more than that. So that might be something that's new, that's coming. And then, of course, we know we're getting the fixes per the laundry list. Here's just a screenshot of like the high level items, which is a lot of the items because there were only 23 items on the list. So this particular game update doesn't seem to be about a lot of fixes, because I think it's more emphasizing on like what's new and the burglars. And I don't know, like I said, how detailed they're going to be. And a few things that weren't on the list that were common things that people seem to experience. I did go over this in more detail in my video on the laundry list, but you can see it up there on the screen. Of course, that's save corruption, which they are looking for saves and details on. It's not a new issue, but it just seems to be getting a lot of attention recently. The weather effects inside the structures. You can't fish at island living fishing signs. When you go to high school with your teens, if you have high school years, only one teen, if you go with more than one, gets the goals. There's an issue with the occult eyes and features disappearing in live mode. Plants are still reverting to dirt piles. This is a very old bug that they have tried to fix, but And I think it's maybe not as bad as it was, but it's still bug. And of course, while they did fix most of the issues with them missing clutter, there are still some things that are missing or missing tags. And that's not on the laundry list, but I'm wondering if they are making changes to build mode, if somehow this might get just miraculously fixed without it being on the laundry list. I guess we'll see soon enough. So again, the 25th is Tuesday when we're expecting this game update, and the usual time for a game update is 10 a.m. Pacific, which for me is 1 p.m. Eastern. That is an hour after the final week of the Blast from the Past event should go live. It should go live at, for me, noon Eastern. And I will link to a time zone converter below so that you can see when that is in your own time zone. But it is the usual time of updates, is when I'm expecting it. I mean, we don't know, but that's when I would think that it would happen. And also, just as a warning, I saw this from Turbo Driver that he is saying that it could mean trouble for mods. And then, of course, the expansion pack is expected on March 6th, and that could require further mods to be updated at that point. So he's suggesting play offline or without mods enabled and stay tuned for mods update. Now, I would say a further step. I wouldn't just disable your mods, which will happen automatically. I would move your mods folder out, because some mods can still cause problems just by being in your mods folder, even if they're disabled. So that's actually not, the best. The best is just to take them out. And the other thing is that from the Sims After Dark Discord, they're essentially saying a big patch is on the horizon, so it's time to get ready. And also the pack comes out on the 6th, and that they're expecting the pre-patch for it. They're saying tomorrow at 1 p.m. This converts the time to my time zone since I'm in Eastern, and this tomorrow is now at the time this video is going up today, i.e. February 25th. They are going to be putting their support channels into read-only mode shortly before the patch is expected to go live. They've been doing this for quite a while, and I expect that Debtor Pool will probably do the same thing. And what they're essentially saying is expect lots of mods to break after the patch, and get prepared now and watch for updates. And again, if you can't play without your mods, you can disable automatic updates in the EA app and play offline, which is something I generally recommend to do when I have a video on how to do that. But we're actually going to go here and take a look at the basic steps to prepare for a game update, which I cover with every update, but this is just a reminder. Make a backup of your saves, and my understanding is PlayStation players can do this too, and I really strongly recommend that you do this, and also that you avoid any long-term saves until you know if there's any fallout from the update. Next, move your mods folder to your desktop. Don't rely on them being disabled, as I've already said. Also, depending on what mods you use, including that 18 plus Wicked Whims, and I think Wonderful Whims too, but possibly other mods, they will put their settings files in your saves folder. So you need to check your saves folder for any mod settings files, because having them in there, even with your mods folder out, can cause problems. Now, after you update, make sure to repair your game in the EA app or Origin if you're on an older Mac, if that's still a thing. I know they were going to be going offline with that at some point, and I haven't kept on top or noticed an announcement that that's the case. But on Steam, this is a verified game files. Then I also recommend that you delete your local thumb cache file, and then wait until your mods and custom content are cleared or updated before adding them back in. Keep in mind that with major updates, sometimes mods can have more than one update. I don't know what type of update this is going to be. I mean, it is a big update, but some updates break everything and take a while for the mods to fully get updated, and they might be released and then people will test and there's still problems and they'll get another version. I don't know if it's going to be that type of update or if it's going to be one that's not, kind of in the middle kind of thing. And reminder, if you haven't listened to the advice above about moving your mods folder to your desktop, with most updates, mods and custom content are automatically disabled. And I can guarantee that they're going to be disabled with this update. So if you go into your game and your Sims are missing their CC, that is why. Do not save with them disabled or with your mods folder out. But again, I would recommend you don't play in any long-term saves that rely on mods or custom content until everything has been cleared. But in general, like I said, I recommend you take your mods folder out, especially with such a big update. So if you want more details, I have a tutorial video. I will link to it. And also, as mentioned, if you want to temporarily avoid the update, turn off automatic updates and go offline with the EA app or Origin if it's still used. And I know if you restart your computer, the EA app will go back into online mode. Just go back offline and you'll be fine. Because you have automatic updates off, it will not update unless you prompt and tell it to update. So last, we are getting a live stream for the new pack and for the game update on Friday, February 28th. And that time showing there is my time, which is 1 p.m. Eastern. It's 10 a.m. Pacific. And you can go to YouTube to check what time that is in your own time zone. And you can even turn on notifications if you want to get notified when they go live. And there is just the detail which shows that it's for the pack and for the base game update. And that's like the developer live stream. I do expect it will be live. I know there were some streams where they weren't live, but they have said recently that they're live and they announced it in the 25-hour anniversary or birthday celebration live stream at the end that they would be back doing the live stream. So I'm expecting it is going to be live, but it will probably hopefully be prepared for, which might make it go more smoothly. So that's actually it. Again, tell me what you think about those Burglars teas to be coming in the update. I'd love to know in a comment below. But that's going to be it for this video. Thanks very much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye!